Hello, I'm Kelly. This is my second video, basically all about exclusively pumping and my experience and my hints and tips, and I'm going to call this one Getting Started. So first of all, you're going to need a pump. This is the one that I started using. And this took me through to basically around the 3 or 4 week mark solely on this one with just a single suction. In hindsight, I wouldn't advise just using a single-sided battery pump. I then went on to hire this one, which is an electronic Medela Symphony, which is a double-sided industrial grade professional pumping device, which is a lot better than this. This is perfectly fine and it really does do the job, but it takes twice as long. But it is really good for using in the car. Although I then did go on to buy this as well, which is basically a power supply for your car. So this has been to a lot of places with me, and I have pumped in the back of my car, in the back of my husband's car, in the back of my mother-in-law's car. I pumped in a lot of places. But yeah, so basically once I had got my son to take a bottle, he really likes the MAM anti-colic bottles. We did have to try a few different bottles before we found one that he actually really enjoyed using as much as being on my breast. But once I did manage to make that transition, everyone was a lot happier. I wasn't in as much pain. I was getting better sleep. I was much more able to give my son the attention that he needed, because I wasn't obviously consumed with thinking about the engorged breasts and the pain and the fact that he wasn't getting enough milk because he was an extremely hungry baby and all of those sorts of things. So I basically started pumping every 3 hours from the time that he was off the breast. So this is my diary. I would also recommend getting one of these. I found it really helpful to keep a record, and because you know, when you're a new mum, especially if it's your first baby, which it was mine, you know, time just seems to disappear and you kind of lose track of it. You lose track of the days, you know, the days are like the nights. Everything's very blurred. And so I really found this useful to remember when I'd done certain things. So I've got written down here 7 o'clock, pump, 10 o'clock, pump, 1 o'clock, pump, 4 o'clock, pump, and so on and so forth. And I even kept a record of how many ounces I was getting at each pump, because at the very beginning I wasn't getting many ounces at all, and it was quite frustrating. I tried quite a few things. I tried the mother's milk tea, which I've heard is great, but I have to say it didn't work for me. I then brought some organic fenugreek from Amazon, which you have to be careful about which one you buy. I think the one that I ended up using was by a company called Nature's Way, because it was a better milligram per capsule ratio, and it was all derived from obviously organic origins, which, you know, considering you're trying to breast pump to avoid your baby having synthetic crap, like, what's the point if you're then gonna, you know, pump out stuff that you're putting in your mouth? So that was that. Yeah, fenugreek, good thing to use. So yeah, so I think I pumped for every 3 hours for about 4 or 5 days. It is hard. It is a lot. Like, I have to admit, when I wasn't sleeping or giving my baby a bottle, or filling a bottle, or washing a bottle, or packing a bag of milk into the fridge, or trying to grab a quick shower, trying to grab 30 minutes sleep, I was sat at the pump. And like I said at the beginning, I was using the single sided pump as well, so obviously it was like 20 minutes on this side and then 20 minutes on that side. But that is what I would recommend for step one, as it were. Every 3 hours, 20 minutes on each side, and don't worry if you're not getting anything at the beginning. It will happen, it will come in. It's all down to perseverance and just being disciplined and sticking at it, and it does get easier. The beginning is the hardest part.